I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and part 2 of the LG Viper 4G LTE review picks up right now. Picking up in part 2 of this device, but before we get into the LG Viper 4G LTE review, part 2 that is, let's thank Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit game, because we turn around and give those to you on the site. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, all that good stuff, so when you walk out the door, you're good to go. You don't have to waste your time. It's taking care of all the settings. Best Buy Mobile will do it for you. So let's take a look here at part 2 of the LG Viper 4G LTE, and let's start with some speed tests, because I think that's kind of where the party really is. So actually we'll load up Quadrant Standard first, because it's always interesting to look and see how these devices perform. Now take this with a grain of salt. This is not always indicative of day-to-day performance, but we'll load this up and I'll talk a little bit about call quality. I've had a couple of days to work with the device, and you know, at least on the call quality front, Sprint does a pretty decent job. You know, the earpiece has been nice and loud, network quality's been good, reception's been pretty decent. I took it to a known dead spot in Southeast Charlotte that I'm familiar with, and despite, you know, some choppiness, the typical stuff that happens when you have 0 or 1 bars of service, it was pretty impressive. It performed without a hitch. You know, the call didn't drop, although I thought it might for a few minutes, but for a few seconds rather, but it did not drop, which that was was very, very nice. So that feature is a good one to have. It's a good device to make calls on, and again, it fits well in the hand. So I think for a lot of people that are just, you know, they prefer making phone calls, this is more of a device for phone calls and for occasional web browsing or you know, occasional text messaging. I think this could be a good unit for them. Battery life, yeah, relatively decent on this device. You know, in moderate use, I'm able to make it through the day. If you get into heavy use on the LG Viper, keep in mind, you know, you may have to charge it a second time to make it through the day. But for the most part, I've been pretty impressed with the battery life. Not terrible by any means. There's definitely better options on the market. The Galaxy Note does a great job. The Motorola Droid Razr Max does a great job. And then the HTC One X is pretty decent as well, and the EVO 4G LTE. But this is a good option kind of for the middle of the ground person, you know, that person that makes a few phone calls, like I said, and browses the web occasionally. Quadrant Standard 2,948 here, so 2,948 on Quadrant Standard. We'll load up, let me take this off Wi-Fi as well, actually. Let me go into settings. 3G speeds, at least in the Charlotte metro area, and like I said, you know, they haven't been impressive. You know, it's been pretty frustrating to say the least. Their 3G speeds really need some work, at least while we're waiting for 4G LTE in various markets. So hopefully by 2013, when the nation has LTE, this will be less of an issue. And I'm quoting Sprint there when I say by the end of 2013. I think that's their projection for LTE around the US. But we'll load up speed test and let that start up. For example, we'll take a look here. I mean, they're just very frustrating speeds. I've seen bursts, you know, like 12 or 1 in the morning, I've seen bursts as high as 1 megabits per second, which was what it should be all throughout the day. In a peak time, like 6 o'clock on a Monday afternoon or Monday evening, you can see the ping really is an impressive 1,277 milliseconds. I'm getting 25 kilobits per second. That's slower than dial-up, just to give you a little bit faster now, 109 kilobits per second. So still needs some work. Come on now, let's see, 113 kilobits per second. So, you know, I'd say about 0.11 megabits per second, so well under what it should be. Upload's going to be very slow as well, most likely. 70 kilobits per second. Definitely needs some work on the speed test front. Now again, LTE handset here, so when Sprint does get LTE and it rolls out to every market, you're going to be fine. But again, like I said in part 1, I think this is going to throw in some confusion for people that, you know, went from 3G to WiMAX 4G on, let's say, the Epic 4G Touch. Then they got rid of that and went to this, and now they're back on 3G. And they're going to be like, well, why don't I have 4G? Well, the fact is these devices don't support WiMAX. It's just 3G, so CDMA, EVDO Revision A, and then 4G LTE. So that's something to keep in mind. You're going to kick back onto 3G for a couple of months until until LTE is available in your respective market. Terrible speeds there. That's what I've been seeing across the board on this, the Galaxy Nexus, and the EVO 4G LTE. Very, very poor speeds. Hopefully they'll fix that with the Network Vision project, which is rolling out. This is a feature I like as well. Visual voicemail is included on this device, and we can listen to this one, for example. Yo, 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 random phone dog reader. Thanks for leaving me a voicemail, man. So you can see, I had this, just to give you the backstory, I did the unboxing a couple of days ago, and I left the phone number of this device on the videos. So a bunch of people have called and text messaged, and that was an unknown caller. They left me a voicemail that said, yo, yo, yo. So I was saying yo, yo, yo back to him. What up, man? What up? And let me show you the dialer while we're at it as well. Let me move the call log here. So you see your phone here, call log, which has a bunch of numbers in it that I'm not going to show, contacts, and then favorites as well. So you can see kind of stock Gingerbread setup here. No real changes. You got your voicemail, your call button, and then back along with your island keys down here. So no real changes. You know, again, stock Gingerbread, it's one of those things you either love it or you hate it and you prefer a custom user interface. But otherwise, a pretty stock experience here. Let's go in one more time and take a look at the camera. And you can see, like I said in part one, LG custom icons here. That's really the only difference you're going to see. That's kind of an LG thing. And of course, the camera interface is not Gingerbread either. You can see this is an LG thing. The way that it looks, you got your some settings here: image size, scene mode, ISO, white balance. You got the ability to change color effects, change the timer, the shot mode, the shutter sound, auto review, and then you got your flash as well. You got your zoom abilities. You got your ability to change it to a front-facing camera if you want to take a picture of yourself. How's it going, peeps? And then we can go back to that, and you got your ability to switch pretty easily between video camera and then back to your camera as well. Then you have the button here and your ability to go to gallery. So let's take a look. I've got the 1X over here on the side, so we'll use it as an example. No physical camera button. You know how I love my physical camera button, but we're going to focus in on this Beats Audio logo. Press and hold, and that's a terrible image. Let's see if we can focus out or zoom out. We're going to trash that one. But again, you can see these little minor LG customizations. This is not stock Gingerbread. This is LG in terms of the camera interface. We'll try it over here. We're going to flip it over, see if we can get a good image. Focus in on the HTC logo, perhaps. Let's see what we can do here. So again, you know, not the ideal camera. The autofocus is pretty poor on this device. We're going to go to New, and we're going to actually let me find something a little bit better. That's just terrible. Let's do a pen. I hate using pens, but if I can just find some text to see if we can focus in on there. Let's try there. Again, not the best camera in the world. Keep that in mind. Definitely needs some work, and in comparison to other devices on the market, if you're going to be using your phone for camera settings and for taking pictures and for shooting video, you're going to want something like the EVO 4G LTE. It's renowned for its camera, great 8 megapixel camera, burst mode, and great video options as well. Galaxy Nexus is decent, not the best in the world, but still better than this. If you want the camera, spend the extra $100 and get the EVO 4G LTE. Otherwise, of course, you're getting a bigger display. You're getting some other features as well: HD quality display, a better camera, and more. But again, here are the value proposition. This is the value device, the $100 device that people that are coming up into smartphones for the first time or migrating up from kind of a cheap smartphone. They want that 4G device, but they don't want to spend $200 because, let's be honest, not all of us have $200 to spend on a smartphone. It's going to be a good option for them, and it performs relatively well. It's just got some weaknesses like the camera, and then of course it's on a high resolution display, but again, not everybody needs a high resolution display. All in all, a pretty decent handset. Sprint's 3G speeds are terrible. Let's take a look at Sprint TV also. This is something that comes installed on most of Sprint's devices and is part of their everything data plan. Now you get this for free, the base level, but there's an additional fee. I think it's $9.99 per month if I recall, for the premium TV channels. But we can go back here to Sprint TV, we'll load it up, and you can see Fox News, you can see some Spanish channel, The Voice, a couple of different options here, baseball if you want, and then you got some channels down here as well. So we can go to ABC Mobile, for example, and watch TV live, assuming it'll operate on the, I'm on 3G right now, so don't expect anything amazing in terms of speed. But you can see how the interface looks. You got your on-demand, you got your movies, your shop, your help, and then some menu interface stuff. So it's a nice little program, and again, I'm all about some free stuff. So visual voicemail, free navigation, in addition to, of course, Google Maps, free Sprint TV. This is all a nice value proposition that starts at $69.99 on Sprint. So that's a pretty good deal, and of course their 3G is and needs some work, but you can use it on Wi-Fi, at least some of the channels on Wi-Fi, to alleviate some of that speed strain. So that's a nice feature as well. And then one last thing I want to show you, Google Wallet, now that we got this installed and updated. You're going to initialize the device. I just want to show you what it looks like. We'll get started here and take a look at what Google Wallet looks like. I am 18 years, I'm sorry, I'm only 14. So we'll load that up. Yep, we'll use Heron Baker, link the payment information there, and I probably won't be able to go past the next screen because I think that's where you enter credit card information. But it does have NFC capabilities, of course, and Google Wallet is pre-installed along with Google Shopper. So again, a decent value proposition for $100 in comparison to some other devices like Verizon's Galaxy Nexus that doesn't have Google Wallet installed. So a nice feature there, and a nice feature at $100. Is this a good device to get? I say yes. If you have $100, you want a decent smartphone, I can set a pin and move forward like that. But if you want a decent smartphone, and I probably shouldn't do that on camera because then you can log in and access my Google Wallet. But you want a decent smartphone with decent features that lack a few, basic, lacks some great camera settings. Battery life may not be the best in the world, but you're looking for a pretty decent smartphone to make some phone calls and to browse the web occasionally, the Viper 4G LTE is going to be a nice device for you. If you're looking for that high-end device with camera settings and more, wait it out for the EVO 4G LTE. You're paying $100 more, but you're getting a faster processor, you're getting a better screen, higher resolution screen, and a better camera and a kickstand and a bigger battery. For $100, it's a pretty decent value proposition if you have the extra $100. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the LG Viper 4G LTE. Keep it locked on the site. We'll have dogfights and continuing coverage on the site. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PhoneDog. Hit us up on Google Plus as well, gplus.to/PhoneDog, and hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think of this device. If you like this device, perhaps you love the EVO 4G LTE. Perhaps your device is the Galaxy Nexus. Let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter and on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. More coverage to come on the LG Viper. It's like a snake on PhoneDog.com. We'll see you next time.